Hey guys, welcome to my TF2 Unusual Trading Series. I've recently started trading again and thought I might as well make a series out of it. I myself am a fan of unusual trading videos, but I haven't been really able to find any on YouTube lately, so I thought why not make one myself. As you can see here, I'm not going to start with the normal 10 to 15 keys that you see most other YouTubers start with. I don't know how this got here. Let's get out of here. Let's see, put it right here. Yeah, so I'm not going to start with the normal 10 to 15. I'm going to start with 59, yep. The reason I'm going to start with 59 is because I've done trading obviously prior to this video, and I did actually start with 10 to 15 keys. So a lot of the methods I use in this series are going to be applicable to low tier trading, so there's really no point in just starting with the 10 to 15. It would just make the series drag out longer and I would be able to do less trades. So I think it just makes a lot more sense to utilize all the keys I have at my disposal. I have some ref here, not really a lot considering keys are like, I don't know, 60 ref now, so there's a little bit, maybe I could use as sweets or something. So as far as goals go for this series, I don't really have one in mind right now. Getting to 100 keys would be nice, so maybe that could be our goal, but we'll just evaluate as we go on. I don't really know how long I want the series to go on. We'll kind of evaluate to that as well as we go, but without further ado, let's get into our first trade. For our first trade of the series, we have a green confetti familiar fez, which someone is trying to sell for 12 keys. I ask him if he can go any lower, and he says he can go down to 11 keys pure. I try to see if we'll budge at all, maybe go down to 10.5, considering the buy orders are at 10 keys for this unusual, but he makes it clear that he's not going to go any lower. So considering this hat is a low tier, it is SPY, and I think it's one of the better SPY unusual hats in the familiar fez. I think it looks quite nice. Has a decent first gen effect in the green confetti, nothing spectacular, but considering I'm buying so close to the buy orders, I feel like I can turn a profit on this hat, either through quick selling it or putting in an upgrade deal for a better unusual. So I end up putting in the 11 keys and asking him if he could add any sweets. He explains he doesn't have much in his backpack, but ends up throwing a hat in, which is nice. And so we get our first trade of the series done. Okay guys, so we just made our first trade. It was for the green confetti familiar fez, as you just saw, and we actually got a Doctor's Dapper Topper as a sweet. I'm just going to go ahead and put the sweets on page 3. So yeah, this is what our backpack's looking like at the moment. Just got done with that trade. And here's how the fez looks for anyone that was interested. We got the green confetti coming down. I quite like the fez, the way it looks. The green confetti effect, it's okay. I mean, as of effect, it's pretty mid tier. I think it's second gen, I'm pretty sure, but it just looks okay. It's nothing that great. But yeah, this is what it looks like. Okay, for our next trade, we were trying to seal a downgrade deal with the fez. I've been trying to upgrade the fez into a higher tier unusual for some time now, but unfortunately all those trades fell flat. And to make matters worse, one of the buy orders for the fez on backpack.tf had disappeared, making potential buyers for the hat more skeptical. I was able to find someone selling a nuts and bolts croc leather slouch for the sniper. Since this hat is priced at around 8.5 keys and has buy orders for 7.5, I thought it would be a good candidate for a potential downgrade deal with my green confetti fez. So I told him I could offer my fez, but he would have to add some. He asked how much, and I see that he has 4 keys in his backpack, which is the perfect amount since I bought the fez for 11, and I asked if he could add the 4 keys. He thinks it over, and after a long time of negotiating, he says he can do 3. We haggled a little bit longer, and finally I got him to do 4 keys with me adding a little under a half key in sweets. Which means that if I sold the slouch to buy orders right now on backpack.tf, I could turn a small profit, or I can try to sell it at 8 keys and make around half a key in profit. This hat most likely won't be easy to sell, but I might be able to find someone just because that 8 key mark is so close to the buy order of 7.5. These profit margins seem small at first, but they add up over time. If I were able to complete any of those upgrade offers with the fez, it would have been a very good investment, but not every investment works out, as you can see, but luckily in this case I think I can still turn a small profit. See you guys in the next trade. Here we have the nuts and bolts slouch that I just traded for. I think it actually looks pretty good. Nuts and bolts gets a lot of hate as an effect, and it's definitely not great, but I think it looks pretty alright, especially for what it is. I mean, what, like a 8 key hat? I mean, this doesn't look terrible. But yeah, this is what it looks like, guys, in case anyone's wondering. It's time, the trade we've all been waiting for, the trade alluded to in the thumbnail, and the biggest trade of the episode is here. We pick up our first Burning Unusual of the series in a really lucky trade from a guy who was looking to cash out his backpack as quick as possible. I saw his advertisement in chat that read he was looking to trade everything he had in his backpack for pure, but he didn't list what items he was selling. So I BP'd him and spotted this. A strange Burning Flames Alpha Steam for demo, which is listed on backpack.tf for 40 keys with no buy orders. And I know what you're thinking. Although this hat has a nice effect, it doesn't really look that good and will be a pain to sell without buy orders, and you'd be right. But because this particular trader was looking to cash out at TF2, he was willing to sell me the hat for 23 keys, just 1 key above the buy orders of the unique variant of the hat. And although there is a lot of traders that just disregard the strange tag altogether, I still believe there is some value to be had here. This is by no means a slam dunk trade, but there is some great potential here. If I can find the right buyer, this hat is themed for the holiday season, has an assortment of strange parts attached, and I'm hoping that'll help make up for its appearance. Overall, I'm happy with the trade. Getting a Burning Unusual for just 1 key over buy orders is always nice. Despite there being sell orders at 26 for the unique variant of the hat, I think this hat stores a lot of potential. So yeah, I'm excited to see what I can do with it, and I'll see you guys in the next trade. Here's what the Burning Flame Self-Esteem looks like in game. Has the nice orange fire, has the black paint, and here are the strange parts for anyone interested in those. Overall, I'm feeling pretty good with the trade. It's definitely not the most spectacular looking hat, but it's definitely not the worst. It is themed for the holiday season, but I don't really have my hopes up that will entice anyone, but you never know. And I'm just excited to see what kind of offers we can get, what kind of trades we can do. I'll see you guys in the next one. So before we get into our next trade, I just want to do a little update of what our backpack looks like at the moment. So here we have the Nuts and Bolts Slouch, the strange Burning Flame Self-Esteem that we just traded for, and 29 keys pure with 0.77 metal on the side. So this is what our backpack's looking like right now after the Alpha Steam trade, and I'll see you guys in the next one. For our next trade, I'm looking to buy a purple energy helmet without a hone for pure. This hat has a great effect and is for soldiers, so I'm definitely eager to see if I can get the seller to lower their asking price of 24 keys. The person selling the hat is actually the unboxer, and they said in chat that they don't like the trade and just want to sell the hat. So I sent them a trade offer and told them I could do 18 keys pure, which is 1 key above the buy orders. The other sellers for the hat are at around 28, so there's plenty of room for profit here. They think for a little bit and accept the offer. This was a great deal to get done for a first gen soldier hat with the cleanest history possible. I'm feeling pretty good about this one. I'll see you guys in the next trade. So here's how the helmet without a home looks. Has the purple energy effect, a first gen effect, a very nice looking effect. Has that pink purplish energy coming off it. Just looks really nice. I think the hat itself looks pretty nice. A lot of people have a problem with this hat, but maybe it's just my set, but I think it looks pretty good. Yeah, other than that, I'll see you guys in the next one. Guys, I have some bad news to report about our strange Burning Alpha Steam. Boy was I wrong about there being potential with this hat, and you guys were probably screaming at your screen when I made the trade. Normally I don't think I would have made the trade with only a 3 key profit margin, but because I was buying the hat for just 0.4 keys above the buy order, and because it was strange with parts priced at 40 keys on backpack.tf, it sugarcoated the trade for me. Guys, do not invest in strange unusuals thinking people will pay more. I already knew that no one really cared whether we're strange or not, but I thought surely there's someone that will see the hat priced for 40 on backpack and give it a shot for around 24 plus keys, but boy was I wrong. To make matters even worse, the sell orders have gone down in just 1 day since I got the hat, with sellers undercutting each other all the way down to 24 keys. Luckily, the buy orders rose to 23 keys, so I can get rid of the hat without suffering a loss, but even though I didn't make any profit with this trade, I gained information, which for me made it worth it. Do not invest in strange unusuals thinking that there is someone who might be willing to pay more for it. Now, I did only try to shop the hat for a day, so there may very well be someone willing to pay more, but I don't think it's very likely, especially with how the sell and buy orders played out with them at the moment being only 1 key apart. Sometimes you just have to learn lessons the hard way. I'm sorry if you were expecting me to do more with the thumbnail hat of the episode, but sometimes things don't always work out the way we want them to. Well, time to cut my losses. Terry, roll the clip.
Although this hat has a nice effect, it doesn't really look that good. It would be a pain to sell without buy orders. And you'd be right, but there is a lot of traders that just disregard this strange tag altogether. I still believe there is some value to be had here. Overall, I'm happy with the trade. I think this hat stores a lot of potential. Just kidding, guys. We were able to get a big deal done with all 3 of the hats in our backpack, but I didn't put together this trade myself. It was all thanks to one man, the GOAT, Larry Jones. Let me explain. Earlier, Larry had shown interest in buying my Purple Energy helmet without a home for about 17.6 keys. I kindly declined and moved on with my day. But later on, I see that I have a friend request from him, and he says he can now go to 18 keys, which is what I paid for the hat. I of course tell him no, but then only a couple minutes later, he excitedly messages me saying that he will now do my price of 19 keys, and I knew something was up. He must have found someone who was at least willing to pay 20 keys for the hat, and so I declined his offer even though it was 1 key profit for me. I've owned the hat for about an hour at this point, and if he can find a buyer so quick, I figured I could too, and so I told him I was going to hold on to the hat. He wasn't happy to hear that at first, but after a little while, he said that he knew someone who was interested in my hat, and he linked me their backpack.tf. He told me I should try to make a deal with them, and without the sheer generosity of Larry, this next trade would not have been possible, so thank you, Larry, you're the GOAT. For our last trade of the episode, I put all 3 of the hats in our backpack up for trade in a package deal. The person whom Larry recommended I trade had about 150 keys on him and was interested in buying all 3 of my hats for pure if I was able to give him a discount. Since I was planning on selling the Alpha Steam and Croc Leather Slouch to buy orders anyway, I immediately welcomed this deal and began negotiating. He had first offered me 48 keys for all 3, but that happened to be the exact amount I paid for them, so I told him I would need a little more. After some discussion, we eventually settled on 50 keys pure. We were able to get that strange burning Alpha Steam out of our backpack, along with the nuts and bolts Croc Leather Slouch, which also wasn't selling well, and make a 2 key profit along the way. Now it is possible that we could have gotten 20 keys for the helmet without a home, and sold both hats to buy orders for 50.5 keys overall, but this deal gave me the pure immediately, and I didn't have to worry about any of the buy orders being inactive or false. So I can't complain, I'm happy with this deal, and thankful that Larry shared the profile of this trader with me and didn't keep it to himself. I'll see you guys in the next one. So here's what the backpack looks like at the end of the first episode. We started with 59 keys pure, and we now have 61 keys. Things started to look pretty grim after the Alpha Steam trade, but thankfully we were able to turn it around with that package deal, and now we're sitting at 61 keys, so this is what we'll have going into episode 2. Thank you guys for watching the first episode, and I'll see you guys in the next one. I think this hat stores a lot of potential.